The school to prison pipeline. It's a term that describes how American kids get pushed out of public schools and into the juvenile and criminal justice systems. Basically, harsh zero tolerance policies in schools have led to more suspensions, expulsions, and even in school arrests. Getting suspended or expelled means more time away from school, and it doesn't take an honor student to figure out that's bad news. In fact, expelled and suspended students are more likely to get held back a grade, end up in juvie, or just drop out altogether. And dropping out of high school makes you 3 times more likely to get arrested. Back in school, forget about hallway monitors. Students these days have harsher punishments than their white peers for doing the same things. So maybe it's time our education system got schooled?
What are your thoughts on this, man? Do you believe that there is a system in place?
There you go.
Is there a
Come on, Ken.
system in place that we can say that the black and brown, see if they are disproportionately affected when it comes to going to jail, harsher punishments, suspensions, things of that nature? Do you feel like that we, and I'm black, do you feel like we as a society are getting the short end of the stick?
Well, Kane,
Do
that's
you
a
think
good
so?
question. Well, I'm going to answer that.
Go ahead.
First of all, once they said that black and brown,
Mhm.
I knew that conservatism, Canaanitism was going to speak.
Uh-huh.
But hey, but on that, I'll say this right here. If they have statistical data that's saying that, you know, um, you always big on is there uh, rules put in place? They don't have to be put in place if statistical data shows that, okay, just like they just said right there, if it's a white student, a black student, and they did the same thing, and they might give the black student harsher treatment or more days suspension, why is that?
So do you
That
think
is
that though?
that is of concern.
So do you
That
think that
is that's true.
that's true?
Kane,
Is that really
if
true?
that's true, if, Kane, if that's true, then that is wrong. Then they have to reevaluate how they're punishing people. It should be the same across the board, period. That's it.
So
So we won't get into that because that happened. That happened before back in the day. Okay. But if they're starting to do it now, because one thing they're saying, they do have law enforcement in school.
mhm,
And shout out to everybody that's protecting the kids in school
yeah,
because I
yeah,
believe we do need it.
yeah.
But some minor offenses, fighting in school, now those charges could be, depending on what it is, it could be a felony. A felony at 13 years old. What are we really doing with the kids?
What do you
They
want
get
for them?
they getting charged. Say
What do you
again.
want for the kids?
I think they should be there, law enforcement.
Mhm.
But depending on what it is, whatever they're doing, I'll say that
So
because
okay,
depending on what the offense
I'm a
is, then we'll charge accordingly
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's what I'm for
All right,
right there.
so I'm gonna be a devil's advocate in this. All right, so
Okay.
you have a predominantly black school in the same county as a predominantly white school. And so, is this statistical data is comparing the person that get in trouble at the black school versus the person that get in trouble at the white school, or are we saying if they're in the same school they get the same punishment?
Kane, it should be across the board. It doesn't
I know.
matter if it's a black school or a white school.
Mhm,
So, and you just, I don't know, I wouldn't say move the goalposts, as they would say. If they're
mhm,
in the same school, then the same punishment should apply across the board.
mhm.
If it's just a black school, then that statistical data is irrelevant.
Well, who's putting in these punishments? Is it you, or is it the quote unquote white man putting in the punishments, or
I don't know.
how are we justifying that it's being done? And if it is being done, let's say it's being done. If it's being done,
Okay.
who's doing it? Can we hold somebody accountable, or you want to hold a system accountable? Is that what you want to do? You want to look at a system and saying the system is broken and needs to be fixing, but you take the you don't even
Okay,
know what to fix.
that's a great question because they did do prison reform when President Trump was in office.
Hmm.
I remember, and shout out to, now I'm going to give Kim Kardashian a shout out when, you know, she was a big advocate, one of the superstars uh, that was for prison reform, people getting harsher sentences that shouldn't have been given these sentences, and they helped out a lot of people.
Hmm.
So is there a need to fix the system? I'm going to say yes. Now, I know where you're going to go because
What?
everybody know Kane's favorite thing. I do believe it, but he'll say it for everything.
What?
It starts, let me get to the mic.
Mhm.
It starts at the family.
Bro,
Okay.
bro,
It starts
bro.
at the
That's
family.
what I'm talking about. It always
Yes.
starts at the family. If you want to sit here and say that we need to be more lenient with the kids, if you're going to be lenient with this kid, be lenient with that one, blah blah blah, this is what's going on. Look, let's dig down to the root cause. Forget
Hmm.
all this other stuff. A system is a bunch of different pieces that's put together,
Right.
but the family is right there with the child. So if you have the family right there with the child, what does that mean? They can instill those values. Well, they don't even have to worry about a system and if it's flawed or not. Who cares? Because you're not going to be a part of it. So is there a system of school to prison? There's a pipeline for that. It should be a
Well,
pipeline where the child is with the family, that pipeline, and I guarantee that they can miss this other school stuff, school to prison stuff.
okay, but I'm gonna say this right here. Roger that. Okay, I give you a half of a clap on that. Okay, that's good. But
Uh-huh.
I will say this:
Hmm.
everything you said was correct,
Yeah.
but it is a system still, and if the system needs to be fixed, regardless of you have your family in order, people are going to make mistakes. People are going to do things.
Hmm.
So if they do get in
Yeah.
trouble, we still want it to be fair and balanced.
How do you do
If
that
it's not
though?
fair and balanced, okay, how do we do
Yeah,
that?
because I know you
Well,
like to put me on the spot. You just tell me this big issue and how would you
well,
fix it. So now I'm gonna throw the ball right to you.
okay,
Go ahead. We
okay, well,
we on the yard. I'm throwing the ball to you. Go ahead, Mitch.
okay,
How we gonna
okay,
fix it?
okay. Well, we gonna how we gonna fix the system?
Yes.
We're gonna find out if that statistical data is correct. Is everybody getting the same amount of punishment for doing the same amount of let's say offenses? Okay. If they're not, then okay, parents, we find this out. We're gonna have to get on board, we have to go to these school meetings, and we're gonna have to voice our opinion. We're gonna have to go to the when police have their little meetings with the public. We have to be there because it's not about just us. It's about our kids,
Mhm.
and we don't want any kid being affected uh, wrongly because they can't speak for themselves. So the parents going to have to take ownership of that.
Mhm.
That's one way we're going to have to tackle this problem, and that's people getting together. So parents will have to be active
Okay.
because the kids can't do it.
Okay. I agree.
And that kind of ties into what you was talking
Because
about
that's the family.
with the family,
Yes.
because sometimes even if you're raised with mama and daddy, kids will be kids. Kids will do things that we've all been there. And they might do something that's out of the teachings, out of alignment.
Hmm.
Could be because of peer pressure, doesn't matter. But
But
once they
if you're
do
there full
something,
time, if you're there in that child's life, and you're making sure they
Kane,
don't trip up like some of these other
Kane,
ones are tripping up.
Kane, let's be real.
Huh.
Parents
What?
are not gonna be with their kids 22 hours of the
Oh,
day,
we know that. We know that.
16 hours of the
But you
day.
got to put in.
We can we can instill them, but
Yes.
we have to give them, like my pastor said before, you're gonna have to allow your kid to make mistakes because that's how they're gonna grow.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't want them to do something that's so horrendous there's no coming back. But kids will make mistakes. We as adults, we still make mistakes.
I get that, but the mistake that we're talking about is a little bit, going to Walmart stealing stuff. I mean, come on. If you That wouldn't be a mistake, would it? Or would it be some type of upbringing, knowing that that's not yours?
Hey, hey, let's stop. I mean, adolescents,
Because that's what we got to
they
get them at that
when
age.
they stealing 9 laters. That's a candy from back in the day. You
Yeah,
probably too
yeah,
young to know what I'm talking
yeah,
about. Some old lemon heads.
yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out
I
to
know
my
what you're talking
people who
about.
know what
I know what you're
Chico
talking
sticks are.
about.
Okay, Chico sticks, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they put something in their pocket and everything like that, uh, that's something that's so minor. That's something that's
But
so minor. But we
but
instill,
even if it is
yes,
minor, even if it is minor,
yes,
bro, that's when you tackle it. Even if they grab it and don't
a
do
hundred
anything,
percent.
that's when you tackle it. You don't sit here and just say, "Oh, that's mine," and you sweep it under the rug. No,
No,
because that
nobody's saying
that
that, Kane.
elevates to bigger things.
Yes,
So
Kane.
now they
I
bank
know that.
robbing. Now they, sticking people up. You know what I'm saying? First it
Man,
was candy, and look how it
no,
now
look,
escalated.
I'm not. Look, first of all, hey, I don't know what that must be. It's time to go to chow. That's what that is, because we in prison right now. Okay, but
I'm
no,
just
we're
saying,
not
bro.
saying. I'm not saying let the kids get by off of that.
Hmm.
No, look, I remember a time where okay, you be with moms and we grocery shopping. Don't y'all look at nothing. Don't y'all take nothing. Don't you do anything. We just gonna get meat, bread, whatever, just the
Hmm.
essentials. Don't look at the sugar smacks.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
We getting carnation milk.
Hmm.
You don't know what I'm talking about. That's that powdered milk
I know
back
what
in
you're
the
talking about.
day.
I know what you're talking about.
But then, okay, I'm a little Thundercat, little kid. Man, I see those little blow pops you put in your mouth, and oh man, it got the bubble gum in the middle. And I put two in my pocket. Get in the car. Nobody know. Nobody know. And then I pull it out. Mama see me. Boy, what is that? You had money? No, ma'am. First I get smacked upside the head. Mama turn the car around. Take me back in the
Hmm.
grocery store. This boy did that. That's accountability.
Yeah.
And you tell him, I'm sorry, and all of that stuff. You crying and all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying let these kids get by
And then
because
and
that's the
then let
right
daddy
thing.
deal with them. Then he has a conversation with his father.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're gonna get his tail toe up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
two
but
times.
still though, you have that conversation
Right,
with your son
right.
or
But
daughter.
if there's no daddy there, mama gonna do what she gotta do. If she
I get
if
that. I
she's
get that.
training up that child,
We
no,
are
we're
we
not gonna
know that
try
the
that.
single moms are doing the best that they can with what they have.
Okay,
We know that.
all
We know
right.
that. We're not gonna say that, they are doing the bad things for them. But
Can we get a
statistically,
little horn for that
look, look,
little
look.
clap that they said that?
No, no,
Because
no,
some
no. So
people,
statistically, those
let's
are
go.
the people, those are the kids that are causing havoc in the communities.
That's true,
Single
true
parents.
statement.
Yes. So let's not focus on. I mean, I get it. There are the baby mamas already out there now. There are the single moms that got 2 or 3 kids, whatever. Right? They out there now. We can't do anything about um, that, but other than the men trying to be in a part of the child's life and not letting the woman not putting that blockade up. Don't just because y'all didn't get along don't mean the kids and the father can't get along. So that's why that needs to happen for those families. But those families that do not exist right now, that will be existing in the near future, they need to
Mm-hmm.
follow these directions. They need to have themselves a family, that core. And then this pipeline thing that everybody is saying a system, you don't even have to be a part of the system. Don't even be a part of it. It can be there for those who make mistakes or whatever, but not my child.
Yeah.
Not my child. My child is not going to be a part of that.
Right.
They can see things, they can sense things, sense danger, sense situations that they need to get out of, and then they make the executive decision to get out of there when you're not around. That's how we train our children.
And I'm gonna just say this
Go
too,
ahead.
and I like what you said. And you said, and I'll tell you this, with a lot of the single mothers
Mm-hmm.
that's raising the kids, and some cases they're not letting the father talk to the kids,
Mm-hmm.
but we as men have to continue to try, because some men are not trying to even talk with the kids. Now let's be real,
Yeah,
100% on
I
that.
get that. I get that.
Okay, so we as men have to try to talk to our kids and show them, hey, if you out there in the streets, son, you don't want this type of life. You need to get your books. You need to get that knowledge so you won't be in the same circumstances as me and your mom. You can at least do that for your kids or whatever, especially if you're out there and you're not pretty much a dad that brings something for Christmas, maybe a birthday,
Yeah,
and then that's it.
guarantee. So all in
Yeah.
all, prisoner pipeline, is it there? For me, if we get our family together, we don't have to worry about our system at all. So there's no system that's going to put my kids in that quote unquote system that's broken or whatever. Anything for you? Close this out.
Well,
Halloween
yeah,
style.
to close it out, it's scary out there with this topic. But if we do keep our kids on a straight and narrow, if they do happen to mess up, we want that system to be fair and balanced for everyone. That's all I would say about that. Okay.
That's the uncomfortable truth. Hey,
Let's go.
baby.
Yes.
Want to see us, but you want to just listen to us. We on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, all of them.